Okay, so you're here listening because you want to build a brand, right? A brand that doesn't just blend in, that really stands out.
Right.
Like imagine you're a tree in a huge, thick forest, right?
Yeah.
How do you stand out? How do you make people see you? That's what we're going to be looking at today. We're diving into Branding 101, how to build a brand that stands out in a crowded market.
Okay. Sounds good.
And we're going to go beyond just the surface stuff.
Yeah.
It's more than just having a cool logo or a catchy slogan.
Right. It's deeper than that.
It's about telling your story,
Yeah.
right? And connecting with people on a real level.
Absolutely. It's about making people feel something about your brand, building those relationships.
Exactly. Building those relationships that turn, someone just browsing into a loyal customer, someone who really believes in what you're doing.
I think a really interesting thing is how branding has kind of shifted.
Yeah. How so?
Well, it used to be all about, the visuals, just slapping a logo on a product,
Right, right.
like just the surface.
Yeah.
Exactly. But now, especially in the digital world, it's so much more about the whole experience.
Yeah.
It's about the emotions you evoke, the purpose behind what you do,
Yeah.
even your reputation.
I see. So it's not just about looking good anymore.
No, not at all. It's about your story, your values, how you make people feel. Like, think about Patagonia.
Okay. Yeah. Patagonia, the clothing company.
Right. Their mission, their whole thing is about saving the planet.
Yeah.
And that's not just some marketing gimmick for them.
Right.
It's woven into everything they do. They use sustainable materials, they're involved in activism, and their customers, they get that. They believe in it too.
That makes sense. But doesn't every company kind of say they're trying to make the world a better place these days?
They do, yeah.
So how do you actually stand out? How do you show that you're the real deal, that you're not just jumping on the bandwagon?
I think that's where really defining your brand purpose comes in. It can't just be these vague statements about doing good. You got to dig deeper. Ask yourself why you're doing this. What problem are you solving? What impact do you want to have?
Right. Like what's the specific change you're working towards?
Exactly. When you're clear on that, when your purpose is genuine, that's what attracts the right people.
It's like you're putting out a signal.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're attracting your tribe, the people who are going to resonate with your mission.
That makes sense. And speaking of finding your tribe, our source material talks a lot about understanding your audience. But how do you really get to know them? I mean, going beyond just basic demographics, age, location, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got to dive deeper. You got to look at what they value, what their pain points are, what they're aspiring to. It's called psychographics.
Psychographics. Okay.
And building these detailed buyer personas can really help with that.
Buyer persona.
Yeah. It's like you're creating a profile of your ideal customer. So let's say you're a meal kit company.
Right. Those boxes of ingredients and recipes.
Exactly. Are you targeting, a busy professional who just wants convenience?
Okay.
Or are you going for someone who's really into healthy eating and loves to cook?
I see. Like two totally different types of people.
Exactly. And knowing that lets you tailor your messaging, your whole brand experience to connect with them in a way that makes sense.
It's like you're speaking their language.
You got it.
But isn't there a danger of stereotyping people when you do that?
Oh, absolutely. You have to be careful.
Yeah. Like what if you end up excluding potential customers because you're focusing too narrowly?
That's a really good point. It's all about finding that balance. You're not trying to put people in boxes.
Wow.
We're just trying to understand the different motivations and needs that people have. And you might even have multiple personas, right?
Multiple.
Yeah, to represent the different segments of your audience. So you can create campaigns that speak to each of them.
So you can cast a wider net, but still be specific.
Exactly. You get it.
Okay, that makes sense. And this leads perfectly into the next point our source talks about.
Yeah. What's that?
Standing out from the crowd. There are so many brands out there, especially online.
Oh, tons.
How do you make yours stand out?
Yeah. How do you cut through the noise?
Exactly. And that's where the unique value proposition comes in, right? The UVP.
Absolutely. It's what makes you special.
Right. It's what you bring to the table that no one else does. Like, what's the secret sauce?
It's a thing that makes people choose you over everyone else. Like, imagine you're a software company, right?
Yeah.
And you're targeting small businesses. Your UVP could be that you offer these really user-friendly and affordable tools that help entrepreneurs streamline their work.
Okay.
So they can save time and focus on growing their business.
Right. So you're solving a specific problem for them.
Exactly. And that sets you apart from all those other software companies out there that are, expensive and complicated.
Right. Right. So you're giving them a reason to choose you. And the source even gives a helpful formula for crafting a UVP.
Oh, what's that?
It's we help target audience achieve specific benefit through unique solution.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. Like it's a good framework to start with. But, you know, a brand is also about visuals, right?
Oh, for sure.
How do you make sure your look matches your message? How do you, create that visual identity?
It's super important. Your logo, your color palette, the images you use, all of that has to reflect your brand personality and resonate with your target audience.
Yeah. It's like creating a visual language, right?
Exactly. And it's amazing how much color can influence how people feel about your brand.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, like, think about the color blue.
Okay, blue.
It often evokes feelings of trust and stability. That's why you see it a lot with banks and financial institutions.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But then red, on the other hand, can stimulate excitement and energy.
Okay.
So it might be more suitable for, like, a food brand or an entertainment company.
Wow, I never really thought about it like that. It's like colors have their own psychology.
They do, they do. And that's why having a brand style guide is so important.
A brand style guide.
Yeah, it keeps everything consistent. It makes sure your visuals are always on point no matter where they appear.
So it's like a rule book for your brand's look.
Yeah, you could say that. But consistency is also key when it comes to how you communicate your brand voice.
Oh, right. Like how you sound on social media, your website, all that.
Exactly. Whether you're being playful or serious, professional or casual, you got to be consistent.
Because if you're all over the place, people won't know what to make of you, right?
Yeah, it'll be confusing. Like, imagine Wendy's, the fast food chain with their snarky Twitter personality.
Oh, yeah, they're known for that.
Right.
Like,
now imagine them suddenly talking like a stuffy law firm.
it would be so weird.
Right. It just wouldn't make sense.
So you have to find that voice that fits your brand and stick with it.
You got it.
But doesn't that mean you can never change your tone? Like, what about different platforms or situations? You wouldn't use the same language in a tweet as you would in, like, a formal business proposal.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You do have to adapt your tone to different contexts.
Yeah.
But the key is to always stay true to your core brand personality. It's like, you might dress differently for a wedding than you would for brunch with friends.
Right.
But you're still you no matter what you're wearing.
Oh, that's a good analogy. So you're saying it's about finding that balance between consistency and flexibility.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about purpose, audience, UVP, visual identity, and voice. What else is super important for building a strong brand?
I think one of the most important things is trust.
Trust.
People can spot a fake from a mile away these days.
Yeah, they're static.
They want to see the real you, not just some polished facade. So how do you build that trust?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Show them the people behind your brand. Share customer testimonials, user-generated content. Maybe even give them a behind-the-scenes look at how you do things.
So be transparent, let them see the human side of your business.
Exactly, because that's what people connect with. They want to see that you're genuine, relatable, and that you actually care.
It's all about authenticity, right?
That's it. And lastly, never forget to evolve.
Evolve.
Yeah, the world is constantly changing. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. Tastes change, trends come and go. So you got to stay agile, listen to your audience, and be willing to adapt.
So it's like a constant dance.
Right.
Right.
It is.
You're staying true to your core values, but you're also evolving with the times.
You got it.
So to wrap things up, building a brand that stands out, it's not a one-time thing. It's this ongoing process. It's about being clear on your purpose, understanding your audience, having a strong UVP, and being consistent in your look and your voice. But most importantly, it's about connecting with people on a real level, building those relationships based on trust and authenticity.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, here's something to think about. Think of a brand that you really admire, one that you feel connected to. What is it about their story that resonates with you? What makes them stand out in your mind?
That's a great question, something to ponder.
Yeah, I think it's worth reflecting on, because when you understand what makes other brands successful, you can start to apply those same principles to your own.
Totally. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Learning from the best and
Right.
creating something truly special.
That's the goal.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into branding. We hope you found it helpful.
I did.
Until next time.
See you then.